So, good morning and welcome to the community briefing. We are excited to have you here for another amazing guest on this Thursday morning. So, get prepared, guys, because we have the Black Barbie in the house today. So, for all of the ladies here who is going to feel some nostalgia if you played with Barbies when you were a little girl, and we're gonna throw ourselves back to that age, and we're so excited to have her. And it's always great to have a conversation with someone that has been sitting at the table where some creations have been going on. So glad to have you, Kitty. My name is Crystal Mitchell, and I am the co-director of Recycling Black Dollars, and as well as the inspiration behind the community briefing. Um, this platform was created so that we would have a platform, one, that we can demonstrate who we are and tell our own story. But in the beginning, it was designed so that we made sure we knew where all the monies were so that we could stay alive during the pandemic. Now it has taken a life of its own, and it's a platform to highlight and network amongst those of us and our stakeholders who are sitting at the table. And as a couple of weeks ago, now we can all bring our own folding white chairs to the table to have our own input to make sure that our voices are heard. How about that? So we have a fantastic team here at the community briefing. Mr. Stephen Turner, who is the producer, and he goes out and brings these amazing people and makes sure all of those components are working together. We have Mr. Gregory Sneed, who is in remote mode today. Hey, Greg. He's on his way to a meeting, and he's usually our host and MC. Myself, Crystal Mitchell, and then Miss Robin Billups. And so we are all excited to have you. Welcome to everyone, our new people, as well as our stayed guests that come weekly. I am so excited. This is your platform. This is a platform monitored. Powered and supported by Recycling Black Dollars and the Black BBA. In addition to that, we have some amazing sponsors: the Los Angeles LDC, Southern California Edison, Wells Fargo Bank, and PCR. And I think there's another somebody, SoCal Gas. Those are our sponsors. If you're interested in being a sponsor, we'd love to have you. But we would like for you to go over to our YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button, because every time we upload a video, you will have accessibility to, if you missed that amazing interview, you will have access to that interview. So with that, I am going to introduce Miss Robin Billups. Oh no, well, Greg, you want to introduce yourself before you have to turn off? Yeah, no? Yes.
Yeah, just on the I usually on my iPad. I'm on the phone right now, and I have to like swipe this button several times to get to that mute. But good morning and good afternoon, everybody. I unfortunately can't join you for the duration. I'm actually attending an insurance industry luncheon, and it's being held at Lowry's here in
Oh,
Beverly Hills. So,
Nice.
cool.
so I
Nice.
will, so I will be a stakeholder.
With your own white chair.
I do have a folding chair in the back trunk. Yeah, I can
Okay.
Just in case.
turn it down a little bit. But welcome everybody, and welcome to to you representing the Black Barbie. And I saw a meme that Wilma and Betty are getting real jealous of all the attention that Barbie's getting. So, we're going to have to get a black Wilma and a black Betty. But anyway, good to have you on board, and looking forward to a great show. I will be monitoring and checking in, and peace and love.
All
That's
right.
right. Traveling grace, my brother.
So Miss Robin is on you. Who are
Good day,
you?
everybody. It's Robin Billups from the Billups Group. I coach, assess, and get my clients to a strategic plan for future success and wealth generation. I'm excited to introduce our guest speaker, Ms. Kitty Black Perkins, the creator of the Black Barbie. With the historic box office success of the movie Barbie, what is our fascination with this doll? Hear about a brief history of Barbie from the creator of the Black Barbie, Louvenia, Kitty Black Perkins. I hope I pronounced your first name correct.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Kitty grew up playing with white dolls gifted by her mother's employers. In the 1960s, Black Perkins, which is her hyphenated name, attended an all-Black school, Carver High School, where she excelled in art. Upon graduation, she received the gift of a trip to visit her aunt and uncle in California. There, Kitty put her name on a waiting list for a commercial arts class at Los Angeles Trade Tech College, and in the meantime, took a fashion design course. At Mattel, Black Perkins earned an assignment in 1979 to create an outfit for the first Black doll to be named Barbie. Black Perkins created an outfit for Black Barbie that was meant for the spotlight. Barbie wore stud hoops and dangle earrings, a bold modernist necklace, and a fabulously red bodysuit with a wraparound and snap disco skirt. I love it. On the doll's box, Mattel touted, "She's Black, she's beautiful, she's dynamic." This new Barbie incorporated, I'm going to use that word, oh my goodness, met with mixed reviews, but she represented one of the first attempts of a major toy company to reflect Black pride. Hear about this and more on today as we bring to the stage Miss Kitty Black Perkins, our Black Barbie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is such an honor that you would invite me to speak on your podcast. This is absolutely fabulous. I have to tell you, Barbie has been in the news lately because all of the millions of dollars that she's bringing to the corporation and to the movie industry. But what's lacking is in the movie is the spotlight on Black Barbie, which is not there. They do have some Black dolls in the movie, but they're not the Black Barbie. Black Barbie was designed with a need in mind, a need to have little girls really play with a doll that actually reflect them or look like them. And because the Barbie name was put on the doll, it brought her to the spotlight. And a lot of that credit goes to the Black Barbie collectors. And also the white collectors, because they were always asking for more Black dolls. And because of that, Mattel was interested in really putting a lot of energy and money and all of that behind doing a Black Barbie doll, which is going to go down in history the same way that white Barbie does, because it has the name. To start, I will tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up in Spartanburg, South Carolina. I went to Carver High School. I had a lot of encouragement as far as my art and my career start, because I had two really wonderful and inspiring art teachers who just gave me all of the necessary tools that I needed to go forward. And I will name a couple of them because I think that they should be recognized as well. Mr. Raymond Floyd, who was my very first art teacher. And and that was in junior high. And when I went to high school, MacArthur Goodwin, and they are both renowned artists in their own right. So I learned from the best. After graduating high school, I ventured into a trip to California. It was a graduation gift from my aunt. And it was really supposed to be just for the summer. But at the end of the summer, I asked them if I got a job and went to school at the same time, can I stay? And of course, they said yes. And I will throw this in, nobody knows this about my days in South Carolina, but when I was in South Carolina, I used to help my mom a lot. She did day work, and she also took in ironings from different people. They would drop off their laundry, and my mom would iron them, and that kind of thing. And I would always help her. And I have to tell you, I can iron a mean shirt, okay? But at the end of when I started, at the end of my term at Carver High School, but just before I graduated high school, my mom went and she bought a second ironing board, an iron, a second iron, and I started thinking, now, wait a minute. Her intentions were that I was going to go into business with her, ironing people's clothes. And I said to myself, okay, I can't do this. So I called my aunt. I got on the phone, I called my aunt, and she said, well, don't worry, I'm on my way. So she came from California, and she came to Spartanburg, and she told me, she said, pack up your clothes, and I'm going to Atlanta for a few days, and I'll come back and get you. And I said, oh, please don't go, because if you go, my mom won't let me go. So she said, don't worry, I'm coming back to get you. So she did. She came back. She got me. My mom was a little upset that I was leaving home, but she was excited that I was going on a vacation, is what she thought it was. Well, at the end of the summer, when I called my mom and let her know that, hey, I'm not coming back to Spartanburg, she said, and she was real upset, but at the same time, she wanted me to go to school and finish my my education. So I did. I went to Los Angeles Trade Technical College, and I enrolled in the fashion design class. And the first day of that course, our teacher said to us, she gave us a lot of magazines like Vogue and Harper's Bazaar and a few other magazines, 17 magazine, fashion magazines. And she said, what I want you to do is go through the magazine and pick out an outfit. And once you pick it out, she said, I want you to know that by the end of this course, you will be able to make that outfit. You will be able to fit it. You would be able to choose the fabrics, and you would know everything you need to know about that particular outfit. And I said to myself, no, that's not going to happen. But it did. It did. I went through my whole term doing everything that I was supposed to do. I love draping. I love the sketching. I did all of that. And I won a couple of awards that was presented by the school. And you have to know that Los Angeles Trade Technical College, when anybody in the industry graduated from that school, they always thought it was a really a plus. they would have designers come from the industry to judge our work. And because of that, I was able to get a job in the industry before I even graduated at Trade Tech. I went to school with a lot of famous designers. One I might mention was Vera Wang. And what I understood was Michael Calderon was another. And what I understood was that when those people came to the class, they had a lot of money behind them. And when they graduated school, they were able to open their own businesses. Well, when I graduated, I had to go to the fashion industry, and trust me, it was not what everybody cracked up thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be some glamorous job. I would be designing, and my name would get out there and all of that, but it didn't happen. I stayed in the industry in the fashion industry for 6 years. And I found a blind ad in the California Apparel News from Mattel Toys. I called and I answered the ad, and I set up the interview. I went on the interview, and the headhunter at the time told me, when I met with her, the recruiter, she said, "Don't worry about cost or anything like that. Mattel just wants to see what you can do at this point as far as designs." And of course, I went all out. I went to the fabric store and I bought silk. I got all of the most expensive fabrics, the most expensive trim and all of this. And I made this beautiful doll. Well, I took it back for my interview, and they wanted to see the patterns that I used. They wanted to see the design, and they wanted to see the total doll. And that's what I took. I was a little disappointed because when I took it back, they said to me, "Well, we could never produce anything like this." So I basically got really bad directions from my recruiter. And I went home, I was just really disappointed. And I said to myself, I can't do anything else. I gotta get this job. So I called back. Now, being a Black person from where I came from, usually when somebody tells you no, you just take it and you keep going. But this particular time, I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I called back and I said, look, I need to get a second chance because it mainly was your fault that I was given the direction that I was given. And she set up another appointment for me to do some fashions. So she said, okay, well, go home and dress the doll, bring it back, and I'll show it to the design department. Well, I was so excited about getting a second chance. I not only did one doll, I did 6. So I went back, and the director in the design department was in the Orient, so she wasn't there. So I had to meet with the vice president of preliminary design, and I showed him my fashions and my doll and all of that, and he hired me right on the spot. Usually they put all the designers on a 3-month probation, but I didn't have to go through that. He hired me on the spot, and the 6 designs that I took in for my presentation went in the line that year. So that was a real big plus. And I was really excited about that. So I was able to, because of my knowledge of the designs and all of that, I was really able to make a really good position for myself in the company. What was really exciting was the fact that I was the only Black in the department. I was only first Black designer for Barbie. And I started out as an assistant designer, and they had what they called a department that was preliminary design, and the assistant designers were the ones that would do the outfits for the doll concepts that preliminary design would come up with. And of course, it was the assistant designers that really made the concept work, because we added a lot of unique ideas. One example I'll let you know is Day to Night Barbie. And with Day to Night Barbie was one of Mattel's top selling dolls. And when I designed the outfit, I made it so that she could go to the office with the pink suit on. And I think if you saw the Barbie movie, you probably saw Day to Night outfit. And she had on a white hat with a little polka dot brim on it. And the idea was that when she went to the office, she had on her suit, she had a briefcase, she had everything she needed to do to business, including a cell phone. And at night, she would take the skirt off, turn it around, and it had an after hours costume on it, so that she could go from office to after 5. And that was a really big hit for Mattel. And Walmart was so excited about the idea of the fashion transformation, they asked for a special doll to be designed just to sell in Walmart stores only. And of course, I did Pink and Pretty, which was another outfit that I did for Walmart. And the idea was that you could change the outfit and wear it 26 different ways. And they were really excited about that. And that particular outfit won me an award. So I guess you would say that I got a lot of different awards, and that enabled me to move up in the company at a very fast pace. I went from assistant designer to chief designer. And I was the very first chief designer that Mattel ever had. They actually created the position for me, because if you know anything about corporations, they have two sides. One is the side where all of the work is done, all of the designers and the architects and all of that on one side. And then the other side is all of the administrative work. And those are the people that go up into the VP positions and the CEOs and all of that. Well, when they promoted me to chief designer, my position was equal to a VP, but on the design side. So I was actually able to create a whole new position for the designers that followed me. While I was at Mattel, I was able to hire several Black designers, which I'm really proud of. There are no Black designers at Mattel at this point, because when I left, I think 2 or 3 Black designers there, and they have since not, went on to do other things. But my career has really taken, it really took a really, it was great. And because of that, I was able to design special dolls. Like I did a lot of one-of-a-kind dolls. One was Diana Ross, and that particular doll sold for thousands of dollars. And of course, the proceeds went to a charity, Dream Halloween, which is one that Mattel sponsored every year, and that was children with AIDS. And so I was able to do a lot of the one-of-a-kind. I was instrumental in helping on the Whoopi Goldberg doll. I did Brandy, MC Hammer. I had about 3 designers that were working for me at the time. Thomas Quinn was one designer who was working on MC Hammer, so I helped him with that. So there was a lot of really good opportunities within Mattel that had never been there before for Blacks, and I feel really good about being instrumental in doing some of that, as far as helping to promote our race and giving other young designers opportunity to excel. And I feel really good about that. Now, getting back to Black Barbie. Black Barbie was really a team effort, in that I had different people helping with that doll. I had a designer, actually he was a sculptor. His name was Abo, and Abo, he sculpted Black Barbie's face so that it would be more like a Black person, in that we made her nose a little bit wider. We made her lips a little bit fuller. She was beautiful. Melly Phillips, who was another Black hair designer, and she worked with me with the short natural to put on Barbie, and it was absolutely fabulous. Now, my inspiration for that doll came from a lot of different places. The short natural was because at that time I was wearing a short natural myself, so I was excited to do that. The bold red outfit was something that I imagined that Diana Ross would wear on stage. So there was a lot of different aspects of that doll that came from a lot of Black people. So, and I had a lot of help doing it, and it turned out to be an absolute wonderful doll. And because she has the name Barbie, that just added to the popularity of the doll. And like I said, a lot of the collectors, they just went crazy. When I first showed the doll to kids, because at Mattel, we did a lot of focus groups. We had a lot of little girls come in so that they could actually play with the doll, touted and all of that prior to putting it on the market. I got a lot of flack from some of the parents, some of the mothers, who felt like the silhouette should have been a ball gown like White Barbie, who felt like the hair should have been long like White Barbie. And they were comparing the dolls. Well, after they found out that the designer was Black, all of that went away. And I don't understand it, but it did. So anyway, but the reaction from the little girls when they saw it, the first thing they said was, "Oh, she looks like me." That was the reaction that I wanted. And I know that the mothers and the grandmothers are the ones that actually purchases the dolls for the little girls, but the idea that I made the little girls happy in creating a doll that looked like them. Now, when it came to complexion, I wanted to go, I didn't want the doll to be too light. I didn't want it to be too dark. I wanted to be something where it was kind of in between so that everybody could relate to it. And I think I nailed that. So it was really good.
You know,
The one thing I want, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, one thing I want to tell you too, and this is something that I realized early in my career. When I first started working at Mattel, I did not know that there was also two other designers at the time, two white designers. At the time, I did not know that I had to compete with them in order to get dolls in the line. Mm. And the thing is, if you didn't get a doll in the line, then of course your value to the company was not that great. And that's not a good thing. Anyway, I kind of felt a little bit upset in the beginning because I thought, okay, why do I have to compete for this doll? But I found out that the competition was a good thing. And the reason I say the competition was a good thing is because every year we had slots. They wanted a doll for the lead doll. You needed a hair play doll. You needed a swimsuit doll, and they had like slots that you had to fill every year. And so what we would do is compete for those different slots. Well, the main slot was the lead doll. And if you could get a lead doll in, then that was the icing on the cake. And the first few years that I was there, every lead doll I got in the line was mine. And that enabled me to move up as fast as I did. And so I no longer feel the same way about competition. And when I think about it, I thought to myself, okay, this is why in sports that the competition is so important for the players, is because this is how they make names for themselves. And I never thought to relate it to the work that I did, but it helped me move up in the ranks the same way it helped some of those top basketball players to get VP and all of those. So it all kind of works in the same kind of way, and I absolutely love it now. When when I was working at Mattel the last few years that I worked at Mattel, I was placed in a different position in collector where they did not have competition. And you can just about imagine what happened. I was given the last of the dolls. I wasn't given the best dolls to do. And so that kind of filtered out. But I was grateful for what the ladder that I had climbed before, because that enabled me to leave for, and I'll say her name, Stacy McBride was one of the designers that I was mentoring. And when I left Mattel, when I retired, I said to Stacy, I said, look, I'm passing the torch to you. You gotta keep this going. And so she did for a while. And of course, after a little while, she broke out and did her own toy line. But my days at Mattel was just absolutely wonderful. I felt like I was working with my family. You know, it's like if you heard people say that if you're doing something that you enjoy doing, you never have to work a day in your life. That's absolutely true. I have to tell you, the first week that I started at Mattel, I would just sit and comb the hair and dress the dolls and all of that. I mean, I was so excited. I was actually, you could say I was going through a second childhood, but it was absolutely wonderful. And I love that Mattel was open to the whole idea of giving Black Barbie the Barbie name, because that helped the company as well as it helped in producing our Black dolls.
That's wonderful. Miss Kitty, we really, really, really honor, the trail that you blazed. And and the other piece that I love is the fact that you left the ladder down so that others could take advantage of the opportunities that you had created. I want to ask you, I couldn't say this word when I was reading your bio, but I want to ask you about this incarnation that was happening in the marketplace. But more importantly, how was Spartansburg feeling about the success that you were having? Because I know when you come from a place like that, to be able to have somebody that you personally know out there doing magnificent stuff. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I have to tell you that when I go to Spartanburg, you would think that a celebrities come to town.
You are.
They roll out the red carpet. They roll out the red carpet. I'm always invited to a lot of the events and stuff when I go. I was asked to design a specific doll for the South Carolina State Museum, and I did. I put a Barbie in the museum. I have been awarded several awards from the Board of Education in Spartanburg, and also just different groups. And I have to tell you, every time I go home, it's just absolutely wonderful. I've been written up in the paper so many times and interviewed, and it's been great.
Crystal has a couple of questions that she's going to toss out.
Hi, Kitty. I am just, this is just amazing. You know, I work with kids. I teach kids how to be entrepreneurs and how to create and how to live their passion and create a business that's out of their passion and their hobbies and their skills. So this is awesome. I don't know how, but I'd love for you to talk to my Biz Camp kids. I think you would be such an inspiration to help them think out of the box. But is there a book deal in the future here? Because I'm doing some research and I'm not seeing anything that's written, and there definitely should be a book. Is that in the future?
You know, I have been approached by several people, and I I really have decided I'm gonna do it. I've gone through a lot of some personal stuff because my son has been sick.
Oh,
So I kind of put things on hold for a minute, but I've been approached to do a children's book, also to do my own story, which I'm really considering doing. And
Well, you know, and I think that it's critically important that you, as we mentioned earlier when we were offline, you got to capture the opportunity. The opportunity is going on right now. Right now, folks want to know who you are. They want to know your story. And the idea, and I got a note from Roz Pennington, who's your personal friend, who told me that you design for other folks. So talk to us about some of the stuff that you're working on right now.
oh yeah, Roz is she's a sweetheart. She's my friend, and I've known her for years. I when I retired from Mattel, I designed. I started a business with my business partner Lois Buckman, and we started doing designer jeans. And I went to um, an award show um, in Atlanta, and I wore my jeans, and I caught the eye of Gladys Knight. And Gladys Knight asked me to design, because she was appearing in Vegas at the time. She was doing a weekly thing in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started designing for Gladys Knight. I'm now designing for Gladys and Thelma Houston.
awesome.
And I've designed for a few others. But I started doing designs for celebrities, which is on stage stuff, which is right up my alley because I love doing, flashy things. Um, so I'm still currently doing that. And so I've been
I saw Gladys last night at the Hollywood Bowl, and I've always admired the way she dresses. She's always very sexy, very classic, but also very trendy, and Thelma Houston as well. So again, our hats to you. It just
Thank you.
we appreciate the fact that you're designing clothes that are not looking like they came from China.
Well, thank you so much. I am designing for Thelma exclusively, but
Mhm.
Gladys does have several designers, so I'm just one of her designers.
You
Uh,
mentioned you mentioned early on that there were two male artists that were supporters of yours. And when I'm looking at this, it seems to me that majority of your push and or your shove came from these males. So talk a little bit about that.
um, my art teachers in high school, um, very. I've always thought that creativity is something that you have to nurture,
Mhm.
and they were, I mean, the most nurturing men. I mean, as far as my designs and stuff, I mean, they were, um, I won't say critical, But they were honest with me about stuff that I was doing, and I really, really appreciate that. What else can I say?
Well, the other thing that you talked about was the fact that when you had the understanding that this competition between you and these other Anglo females that were designers really was the impetus for you to further hone your skills. And I think that, Miss Kitty, that most people don't understand revenue streams, right? That these companies, a lot of times, it's not because they don't want to do business with you or because you're Black or what have you. We have to drop that and understand that it's all about bottom line. And I appreciate the fact that you telling that little story, but understanding that as you reflected back, that it really was about the bottom line and creating this value add that you have. Now you understand how business operates. That's what we tend to fall into these buckets of, well, they didn't like me. No, stop taking it personal. This is a professional relationship.
Exactly. It's not about you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Have you seen the movie?
I have.
And we definitely want to hear your take.
Well, you know what? The movie is to me is very Barbie. I like the idea that it wasn't too adult. That it was more fantasy oriented, like I mean, that's what our product started out to be, is a fantasy doll for a little girl. And I like the idea that they portrayed that in the movie, but they also talked about some of the criticisms that Barbie had gotten, and I think that was done very well, because it let people know that Barbie was a project. She wasn't something that was, I mean, it's either black or white. It's not like that. I mean, it's like we all go through stuff. And we keep working through it. And that is something that they also portrayed in the movie, which I really like. And just to let you know that even when you are imagining things or playing things, it's still a struggle. So it's not, it's not all black and white. And I like the movie. I really like the idea that everything in it was Barbie-like, and I love the pink.
So let me ask you, Kitty. So during the time when was this in the 60s? When did you actually start working for Mattel?
I started working for Mattel in 1976.
Okay. So my question is, so Mattel appeared to be ready for, because generally we have to fight for everything to get anything that represents us. But were they in that mode, or it just, the timing was just right? What I know in 76, I know I was sitting in sit-ins and things when I were in New York. I'm a pretty radical human being, and so I was doing a whole lot of fighting for Black Power in 74, 75, all of that. So was that part of that time frame, or what was it just the right timing?
You know what, I have to tell you, timing is everything. I truly believe that if Black Barbie had been designed prior to when it was, I don't think it would have been accepted the way it was. I think that there are opportunities and challenges that led up to that. And I think, and like I said, I give a lot of the credit to our collectors. And I don't know if everybody knows this, but Barbie has a huge amount of of women that are collectors. These are women that played with Barbie when they were little girls, and they want their daughters to play with Barbie. And I know that there's a lot of negative stuff around Barbie, and they kind of covered that in the movie as well. But it's the collectors that keep it going. And I think that because the collectors were ready and just constantly asking for black dolls, I think that was a huge reason for Mattel to really get behind the whole idea of a Black Barbie.
We want to
Awesome.
pay homage to Dr. Gina, who still has her first Barbie. She was showing it to us on, her name is Christy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's so cool.
And she still has them. That's awesome. I wouldn't even know where to go to look for mine. I at first I think are you or Black Barbie? Are you at the African American Smithsonian Museum in Washington?
You know what? I have a friend who actually she was the curator at the South Carolina museum where I designed the Black Barbie. And she has contacted me several times that she wants me to do a special doll for her museum, the Smithsonian, and I'm thinking about doing it. I haven't done it yet, and like I said, I've kind of put my life on hold a little bit because of my son's health. But I haven't finished yet. I'm still there, still doing stuff. And just because I don't work for Mattel now, I'm still doing interviews. I'm still doing every time they need someone representative. They always calling, and so I feel good about keeping that going. And at the same time, when I left Mattel, and I told you that I was mentoring Stacy, I said to her, what I think the last thing I said to her is, I know you want to get out and do your own thing, but do not burn the bridges that you've already established.
And no, that's very, very important.
And that's one reason why I think that I have been so, Mattel keeps calling me about doing stuff, is because I have not burned any bridges.
I just, this is Robin. I just want to interject. Them calling you is a value add for them. So I really, really want you to make sure you're spending time with your attorney so that you can be compensated for them receiving the value add that they're getting. They're calling you. They're not being nice to you, Miss Kitty. They know you have a story to tell and you're a part of that history. So
I do know that.
We really need to make sure that your legacy, I don't know if you have kids or grandkids or what have you, but your legacy has to be documented and your information has to be paid for. Roz wrote a comment earlier in the interview, were you getting bonuses and that type of thing? Part of it is, and this is Robin, part of it, yeah, you're right, Jonathan. She needs to get your coin.
Get your cheddar, girl. But more than the cheddar, I think you are such an inspiration for all Black women and Black young girls who are growing up, that you created a doll in an image that we could be proud of who we are. And I do think your legacy needs to be out there, just like everybody else's legacy. And as Roz is your friend and Emma Maxey is your friend, I think you got two of the best women bookshelf, what do you call it? Bookends. Yeah. I think they can get. Ladies, we need to make sure that this lady, and I know you're going through what you're going through, your children, but your child, but I think Roz and I think Emma, we need to make sure that she has maximum, because this is her legacy. She did something that was definitely for us as people. And I personally believe that when we're born, that there is already a destiny and agenda already set up. And I think, Kitty, you step right on into yours without any hesitation, everything lined up. And so we need to all know that, and everyone else in America and in the world needs to know who you are.
Well,
And
and to your point, Crystal, why wouldn't you be in the Mattel Hall of Fame? Why wouldn't
right,
you be in the Toy Hall of Fame? Why wouldn't you be, there are
all of
these
those.
things that are out there where where they recognize you, but we have to get that done. Tia had a question, and I asked Tia to put her comments in the chat box, and she's not obeying, so we're going to let her ask her question. Come on, Tia. Because we try to control the time, and that's the reason why we ask folks to put it in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Tia, come on. You're
Are
on
you
mute.
on mute? Don't you look pretty?
You
Really
gotta
sorry.
be ready.
I'm doing this, so I can't. And I had to say this. My mom worked for Mattel when I was a little girl. She was one of the first Black financial systems and the one. I was a toy teller, Kitty, and I did those Barbies, and they made such a difference in life. I say thank you. I have a collection of Barbie now in the garage. I have the first one of the Barbies that was when Diana Carroll played a nurse, and I am now I have some designer ones. So I just couldn't put that in the chat because I just wanted to say thank you. You've made such a difference. Everything these women are saying is true. Your story, your legacy is inspirational. And I'm just so glad that I was able to be part of this community briefing.
Oh,
we want you to
you.
come back.
Thank
We
you
want you
so
to come
much.
back and help recruit some more people. And Miss Kitty, I think that one of the places that I would start is those collectors. That organization, they will get behind you. There's grant money available. There's money available, and there's grant money available for what we're talking about. This is artistic education. It's entrepreneurial education. It's legacy education. It's
Yeah.
Black pride. What did you say? You designed that outfit to reflect she represented one of the first attempts of a major toy company to reflect Black pride. We honor who you are. We truly do. But we want the world, as Crystal said, we want the world to know what you've done.
Oh, thank you.
A little
Yes.
kid from South Carolina who disobeyed her mother and went with her auntie, moved away, and didn't tell her mama she was moving away.
That's my kind of woman. So, but I like I said, I mentor a lot of young girls, and they need to know that there are people out there that have done some amazing blazed some trails, found their place at the table, and that we can rise up and be proud of what we do. And we all should be clapping and honoring ourselves, because every woman here, man and woman, you guys have done some amazing things. We as Black women are the change that this country needs. We need to tell our own story. We need to let them know how strong we are. When you look at what's happening in the news right now, and you got two of the strongest Black women fighting a lunatic that's trying to get into the White House, and them women are not backing down. I say, Black women, we do not back down. We stand up, we unite, and we uplift, and then we inspire not just us, but the kids that are coming up behind us to be proud of who we are and what we represent. We would not be here if our ancestor Black mamas didn't get us here.
That's right.
Not one of us. Then all those the Harriet Tubmans, they made sacrifices to make sure that we were here and that we were strong. We should never back down for who we are. And that's my soapbox.
Miss Kitty, the other thing that I want to say, and I just want to say to our audience, it is so critically important that these stories are told, you guys. And again, we see a lot of new faces on here today. We want you guys to come back, but more importantly, we would like for you guys to share your story. Everybody that dials into this forum always has something to share. And so I want to also pay homage to Clotilde McAfee. She's a designer. She's been in that design world forever. We're going to have her and her daughter are going to be coming on in the near future, because they're doing vegan desserts, and she's doing big. We're getting ready for working with them to get ready for the Super Bowl. So
Okay.
again, I'm not the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, for the Olympics.
Olympics
For
in
the Olympics.
2024 in
However,
2028.
there are multiple big events coming to Los Angeles in the near term. And so I think that, again, we invite everyone on here to, get in contact with us, provide us with your LinkedIn profile and a bio so that we can share your insight, your information, your journey, because we all learn from each other. And Miss Kitty, you made
We're
our
honored.
day,
We're honored. We're
Well,
honored.
Yeah.
thank you so much. Thank you. It was such a pleasure talking with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. You did us proud. We all of us have had Barbies. I don't still have mine like Dr. Jenna or Tia, but I am just honored. I was all excited this whole week. I'm glad that my travel schedule was happening tomorrow, not today, so that I could be here in the entirety. We want to thank you so much. We want to thank you all.
I have one quick read that I want to read. Kitty,
Uh-huh.
Thank you for your investment into our Black designers' legacy. I have been in the industry for over 40 years, and it's a blessing to know what you have accomplished in fashion and in the Barbie legacy. That's Clotilde McAfee. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And I think Clotilde wants your contact information. So Emma or Roz, if you guys can make that happen for her, that would be absolutely awesome. We want to thank you guys so much for coming and joining us. We're going over next week. We have another Black legend. We have Melanie Boatswain. She had a business called Blacks in Technology, and you guys always hear we not in technology. Well, we're gonna find out just how much we are in technology and just how much we just not being included at the table. That's what we're gonna find out next week. So please join us. I'm also going to ask for traveling graces tomorrow. I'm getting on a flight and I'm heading to Egypt for the next 8 days. So traveling graces for me, please, guys. But I am I'm treating myself. I'm flying first class tomorrow. I worked hard this year, so I'm gonna treat myself.
Well, stay safe.
I will.
And it's so nice meeting all of you guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, one of the things we can say to you coming on this week, Emma, first, let's thank Emma, because Emma was like, Robin, we got to get Miss Kitty on. I'm like, you're right. Anytime Emma says what we need to do, it's always the right thing to do. So thank you as one of our field correspondents helping us to identify talent. But more importantly, this just warms my heart. We always need to hear our success stories, because we always hear about what didn't happen, right? The persistence that drove you to do what you do is just amazing to me. And then finally, I want to say, vote. I need everybody to find 10 people who are not registered and get them ready, because what we are definitely hearing is that it's going to be white senior citizens who are going to be voting in these next few elections. And we need to dispel that myth, because that's exactly what it is. It's a myth.
And it's a very critical election. We have just so much going on. So it's so important. So reach out to everyone in your network and your peers. Make sure our children that are 18, make sure they understand how important it is to vote. There's so many of us think that our votes don't count, and so therefore we step out of the arena. But right now, everything is critical, especially for us as Black people. There is just so much undergoings going on, and we need to make sure that we take a step forward and not have our apathy, which is usually where we are. So let's make sure we increase that. Greg talks about that. We need to make sure we're 100% at the polls, and it's really, really important. And if you guys have been watching the indictment in I think it's in Atlanta, with the two ladies that were intimidated by the fact that they were helping other people get to the voting polls. You know how important it is. And my mother used to tell me, if somebody's trying to take something from you, there's a reason why. It has value. So make sure you understand that our vote has value. And if it didn't have value, they wouldn't be so apt trying to make sure that we didn't get to the polls. So let's defy them. Let's make sure that we understand. And I'm going to talk to all of my ladies here. I want to make sure we go out in droves. Use your mama voice, your auntie voice, your godmama voice to get our people to the polls. That's what I'm going to challenge all of us to do that. So step into your angry black woman mode and make sure you get everybody to the polls. So with that, so
just quickly, Crystal, there's quite a bit of chatter in the box about doing an event with Miss Kitty, so that there's some young girls there. And again, what I ask you guys to do is hit the chat box. You see the 3 little dots at the bottom? When you hit those 3 little dots, it'll save this transcript. But also, too, this is on YouTube and Facebook. Am I correct, Crystal?
Yes, I will make sure I get it up as soon as possible. And I got to get Dr. Beard's up and Addison's up. Whoever else has been on here. Jessica, I think yours is up already. But I will make sure I get them up. And here's the thing, guys. I love that idea. So I think that we got a number of organizations. Roz is here and representing the BBA, and I'm with the Recycling Black Dollars. The Urban League, that would be awesome for the Urban League. They're doing, and if you guys look in the chat, they're doing the State of Black LA on September 13th. So, Kitty, if you're up to it, we can make sure you get out there, girl. But you just got to let us know that you up to it and you ready.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Dr. Gina has her Serenity Sanctuary. She's offered that up as an organization. And then Clottie has a nonprofit called Stitches, where she teaches people about the business of sewing and design and that type of thing. So I think we're ladies, we're creating some synergy here. We'll include the fellas.
Yeah, and Clottie, if you were be interested in talking to my kids this fall in Biz Camp, or all of you guys that have something you'd like to offer to my kids in Biz Camp, we're kicking off our fall season, our fall session, October 1st, the first weekend. It's on the weekend. 2 times a month. You only have to come out and talk to the kids for an hour. It would be awesome. So reach out to me, hit me up on my email. And so with that, guys, we're going to close out. We've gone over. Thank you guys so much. And I would love to have you do that. So Clottie, put your contact information in the chat.
Kitty put hers in the chat. Kitty,
please come back and please connect with us so that we can just make sure everybody knows that you exist. We got some powerful ladies here. We can make it happen for you. You don't have to do anything. Just let us do it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mary Chetty, if you reach out to us, if you're doing a voter registration, maybe we can jump in on that. We're going to actually have a special a community briefing on voting, and also a breakout session on voting starting in January. So we that would be probably our next a breakout symposium. So let's all get together and let's see what we can do to make sure we make a change. Thank you, guys. See you next week and have a fantastic week. I'm going to go buy a Barbie for my grandbaby as I'm heading to Egypt tonight. So I got to get off now because I got to go shopping. Bye-bye, everyone.
This is good.